once again to Talking Ballocks. Much like the Blues Brothers, the band is very much back together. It is again myself, Johnny Poyser, Matt Rogers, James Merrigan, and a very, very welcome return to Andrew Carson, who is going to have his special own little piece later on. We're going to kick right into today. Poyser's got a burning issue he wants to have a rant about. Then we're going to have a quick touch on the England game. Not that there's a whole lot to talk about from the England perspective. Then our debate this week is who we feel should host the next World Cup. Then we're going to come to Carson for his own personal update. And as always, we'll finish with Poyser's story. So I want to get straight into it today because we've got lots to get through. And of course, we're all very giddy because Carson is back with us. We love hearing that Texan twang. Poyser, we're coming to you. What do you want to rant about?
Plain and simple, fans that leave the stadium early. It just really annoys me when you're sat there watching it on TV and you start to see the fans leaving early, whether it be their team are losing 4 or 5-0. We've seen it where fans are leaving at half time and going, yeah, you know what, I ain't coming back for the second half of this. It's something that really annoys me. And we hear lots of excuses out there. I want to avoid the rush. The team are playing badly. I don't want to miss my train home. That one there is a slight excuse for evening games in Champions League when it's the last train home. I can understand that one. Saturday afternoon, there's plenty of trains home. Get the next one. Argument back about that with the one where you avoid the rush, you would never get to the stadium 10 minutes late because there's a mad rush to get in there at the start. So why leave early? Some little facts on it. In the first 10 minutes of a game, 1,831 goals have been scored in the Premier League. In the last 10 minutes, 3,532. The highest 10 minutes of a game, goals have been scored in. The next highest is 61-70, which is 2,537. So that's almost 1,000 extra goals that have been scored in that last 10 minutes in the Premier League history. Fans are missing out on these goals. Fans that pay a lot of money, an average of £60 for a ticket to go and watch a Premier League game now. Why are fans going home early from these games? I just don't understand it. You're there to support your team. Like last week with Liverpool, as much as I don't like Liverpool, they were losing 2-1. Fans are going home early 5 minutes before the end of the game. That's 5 minutes plus extra time when the fans could be there trying to cheer the team on and really helping to support them. I just don't understand why you leave early. I really don't.
Okay, well, you've made your point very well there, backed up with some fantastic statistics. Mez, we're going to come to you on that one.
I don't disagree with Poyser. I have left the game early. I'm not going to not admit that. I do think, it's good when fans can stay till the end to support their team. But all fans are different. All fans have different routes home. I often choose to leave maybe 5 minutes early if, for example, Arsenal are winning and, it's not looking like that the other team are going to do anything or we're going to score another goal. Or, for example, if Arsenal are losing and there's no way back for us at this particular point. The reason I do it is simply because when I go, I know what a pain it is to get back onto the tube after an Arsenal game. And I know that if I don't leave 5 minutes early, I could be waiting in London an extra couple of hours than I actually really need to. And I need to weigh up the options. What am I missing? Am I missing an important part of the game? Probably not. Or am I actually getting a train home that's decent? Yeah, I probably am. So...
Wait. What do you mean a decent train home? This one actually goes home, whereas the other one stops off halfway.
Well, yeah.
The same, Ed. You say you're not going to miss the most important part of the game, but statistics prove it is.
Yeah, but statistics mean nothing for an individual. I mean, they're an overall picture. That doesn't actually mean that's going to happen. You're not guaranteed a goal in the last 5 minutes of every game. And also, I think
1999 for United left the stadium.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, Poyser, if you've paid your money for your ticket, it's up to you what you do. If you don't want to stay for the full amount, then you don't have to. The club's got the money; they've benefited financially. So why is there a problem with people leaving? I don't see it as a problem.
Surely, though, you'd go You pay to see the game. That's what you're there for. You want to see the whole thing. I mean, as Poyser said, you'd miss a hell of a lot of goals. If you just left and didn't ever check the results, your history of football would be so different. Man United would never have won the treble. Chelsea would have never won their Champions League. I mean, you pay to see the game. That's what you're there for. I mean, I'll give you some examples from other parts of your life. You wouldn't go to the cinema and leave before the end of the film. You wouldn't hire a stripper and then...
I would do if the film was Inglourious Bastards. That was awful.
But you wouldn't hire a stripper and then just as she's about to take her clothes off, you say, oh, hold on, love, keep them on. I've got a train to catch.
I love that was your second go-to example.
Yeah, just films and strippers.
If you're paying 45 quid to get hit in the nuts for 90 minutes and you get to 85 minutes and you think, well...
Who are you paying 45 quid to get hit in the nuts?
Mez, I'll come and do that for you if you want.
Somebody roast him.
If you want to leave early...
Hang on a minute, are you comparing watching Arsenal to like getting kicked in the nuts?
Yeah,
you.
Sometimes.
And to be fair, let's say you're a Sunderland season ticket holder. You want to leave 85 minutes before the end.
Yeah, or a season ticket holder. Sorry, Carson.
But why would you get to the stadium late? Because there's a mad rush to get in the stadium as well.
I'm not late for a game. I don't think you should be late for a game.
But what I mean is, there's just as big a rush to get in as there is to get out, isn't there?
Not really. Especially, well, not at Arsenal. Like, I don't know what it's like at other stadiums, but at Arsenal, there's not a rush to get in.
See,
I've been to England games.
I've had to do a couple hours before in the road to get up there.
Well, I mean, maybe it's different, where United are compared to where Arsenal are. I mean...
Well, they are. One's Manchester, one's London.
Well, yeah, and London's, probably got a better transport network than Manchester.
But, like, when they win, say any of our teams win, would you not want to be there celebrating afterwards with them when they win? When the players go round, yes, we won, thank you very much, and all that.
If we'd won a trophy, yeah, but I'm not going to sit around and toast celebrating beating Sunderland. No.
By trophy, do you mean 4th place in the league?
Obviously.
Okay.
But it's so, certainly as a top 4 fan, it's hard to get tickets. I mean, I've been 3 or 4 times in the last 2 or 3 years. 1, because of the travel up to Manchester, and 2, I can't get hold of tickets. Arsenal, for you went to Stoke recently, but it is so hard to get. Why would you just go, nah, you know what, I've been waiting a year and a half to get tickets, so I'm going to go home early now.
Well, is it not more likely that it's the season ticket holders that leave early? If it's just your Johnny-come-lately who's managed to get a ticket to one game, they're probably going to stay for the whole thing.
I agree with Poyser, though, about, if your team wins, why would you not want to be there and clap them on as they come to, they always come greet the fans and thank the fans. Why would you not want to stay around and revel in it for a second? Like, if your team's getting stomped, and I mean stomped, like 4-0, or, like a Sunderland thrashing, I could understand maybe saying, well, I've left a pub plenty of times.
On the flip side, you say about them stomped 4-0, but if they turn around at the end of a 4-5-0 and they look around and the fans still there and they go, at least the fans are still with us. Come on, we can do this.
Poyser. You know what, guys? At least the fans are still with us. And then the credits roll and that after-school special finishes.
That's a beautiful...
I want to say it was last year in America in the Super Bowl when the Seahawks almost did it and were making their comeback. It was a ton of fans had left the stadium already thinking, oh, this game's over. And as they started to make their amazing almost comeback come down to the final minutes, these fans were begging at the gates to get back in. They wouldn't let them in. No, you've already left.
Oh, I'd love to be that steward. No, you've had your ticket, thank you very much. You need to go home now.
But like you said, you'd have missed, missing Chelsea's last-minute comeback and going to penalties and winning the Champions League. Regardless, I think just if you love the sport, that's what you're waiting for. That's amazing to see that comeback finish. And even so, cheer your team on, support your club. I think it's shame on you as a fan to leave early. Did anybody watch Jurgen Klopp's post-match interview and what he said about that when he was questioned?
No, what did he say?
They asked him, what was going through your mind when, at the end of the game when you said everybody leaving. You said, in that moment I felt very alone. And that's only his second or third game at Liverpool, and they're, they were so excited for him to get there. And then, he's only won one game, but to be leaving like that, early in the game, that doesn't really show him a lot of incentive to be there. I wouldn't want to stay very long if that's how you're going to get supported and treated.
Well,
Is it because he's used to Dortmund level support compared to like Anfield? I mean,
you're right.
Dortmund level support is like off the charts.
Anfield is well known for its atmosphere.
Yeah,
that doesn't make any difference. It doesn't make any difference to when you leave.
Okay, well,
what you actually said about it. If you spoke to fans in German, they would say, "No, we won't leave because of one thing. It's disrespectful."
Okay, well, I'm gonna draw an end to this now because time's getting away from us. But listeners, let us know on Facebook, Talking Ballocks, what your thoughts are, and well, the debate can continue for a long time to come. Moving over, the England game. It was an England friendly. It means nothing. Let's be honest. How many of us five watched it?
I watched the first 20 minutes and then watched the highlights just before I came online.
I flicked it on for 2 minutes just before half time, and that must have been, from what I've read, the only period of play we actually looked good when we played around in the box and Kane put it wide.
I watched it. Well, the whole game was on, but I was more interested in playing tug of war with my dog.
I didn't watch it because that was the new. When did they play? What day was it?
Friday night.
I didn't watch it.
Friday? No, I didn't watch it because as the news started pouring in from France, that's all anybody was covering, and that's really what everybody's attention was on. I didn't realize England was even playing.
Oh, England were playing on Friday night.
Was it Friday night? Yeah.
Oh no, wait. Of course, yeah. Time difference wise. Sorry, I completely forgot you were in America.
Yeah. So at the same time as everything was going on, there was almost no coverage of it. So.
Yeah. Well, Rogers, what are your thoughts on the dominant England performance that you witnessed?
Yeah, what I saw, I thought, bloody hell, we're actually passing it around. We look like Spain.
What was the result?
But from what I read, it sounded like our 5-man midfield got overrun by their 3-man midfield.
That's about right.
Yeah, I think you're about right. It's one of those things where we can be undefeated in qualifying, 100% qualifying record for the Euros. We come up against a team that is, well, I hate the term that gets thrown around about world class, but a team that is genuinely world class, and we get absolutely schooled.
England has always been the same. We will beat everybody below us, and nobody above us.
But we need the British media more than anybody need to kind of take a good look at our actual standings in the world of football. And just appreciate that as long as we give a good account of ourselves. But it's almost like that whole, ever since '66, it's like, right, that's it, this time it's definitely our year. It's been too long since we've won it.
I think there was a lot more this time, though, because obviously, like you guys know, I listen to a lot of the radio, a lot with radio stations out there, and there is...
To the radio stations?
Yeah,
it makes it easier to listen to the radio stations on the radio.
I listen to a lot of the radio out there when I'm at work. And
is that on the radio?
Like a lot of... presenters are starting to say it would be good if we got out of the group. It would be good if we get to the knockout stage. That's what we should be expecting. The level of expectation has come down. We're
as
no
well
longer
it should.
Expectations. We were at one point, we were third favourite going into every competition. We're now, I think, at 20-1 to win the Euros.
A slight tangent. What would we consider success to be in the Euros?
4th place. Sorry, I'm correct. Sorry.
Brilliant.
I think that might be the funniest thing you've ever said, Mez.
I would second that.
You heard it here first, folks. It took episode 12 for Mez to find a personality.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay, well, let's forget about the England game because Carson's in a different country and the rest of us didn't really bother.
First off, what was the result? I can't even find it. I'm searching the app.
We won 4-0. We're gonna move along. We're gonna have a discussion about who we feel should be the. How did this even come about? So with Russia being banned from athletics, I think we said, well, what if they were to be banned from hosting a World Cup? And that just, in the usual Talking Ballocks way, it spawned a conversation. That's how these things happen. So we each have decided who we think should host a World Cup. Now, obviously, Carson included, we'd all love to pick England because it just makes the most sense. Carson, don't look at me like that. So we're not allowed to choose England, and I'm going to go first because I'm the host and I'm still talking. I have chosen Australia. Now, I've gone for Australia because due to the heat, the infrastructure there, it's ready. It's ready to host a sporting event. That goes without saying. But due to the heat, the games will be played later in the evening. So with time difference wise, it would be on in the morning for us, which is ideal for me because I get up early and I can't think of anything better than watching Germany versus Brazil whilst eating my porridge. I think that would be amazing.
I do it every weekend.
Well, yeah, there you go. We'll have a slice of Carson's life. There's also the potential with that of watching games whilst you're at work. You'll be getting paid to watch World Cup football, possibly the best job in the world. It also gets rid of the inevitable disappointing part where you spend all day getting excited about the England game, then we play, are absolutely horrendous, and you feel like you've wasted an evening. At least this way, you get it out of the way by lunchtime, and then you can do something else in the evening to take your mind off it, like play chess, I suppose. I don't know. My pick is Australia. So I'm obviously right, but you guys have the chance to put your points of view across. So, Mez, we're going to come to you, Mr. Personality.
I've picked the USA, mainly because pretty much all of the infrastructure that we need to host a World Cup is already there. I think it would be a great opportunity for the MLS. I think they would really shine more light on the game in America. And I think...
Just like happened in 94?
Sorry?
Just like happened in 94?
Yeah, okay. But, with the increased profile of the MLS recently and, with some of the bigger names from Europe coming over... I think what a perfect way to get more Americans involved in soccer than have the World Cup in the United States. And you know me, I'm basically a closet American, so it would be me going over to America and watching a few of the games. So that's me, America. Yeah, and I was gonna sing the Team America song then, but then I realised it's got a bad word in it. So I didn't. So it's just America. Yeah, and there you go.
Okay. Well, it makes sense following that to come straight to you, Carson.
I agree completely. The infrastructure is more than in place. We have countless stadiums that could support this, as well as hotels in the area. I mean, we've hosted Olympics. That we host, bigger events. Usually.
Whoa!
No. Let me finish. Not bigger than a World Cup final, no.
Good.
But from game to game, you look at the NFL, and no, we wouldn't be playing in NFL stadiums most. We have soccer-specific stadiums all over the world. And yeah, the travel, I think it would be great to have travel over the country. Look at what they did with Brazil. If they can do Brazil, they can do America.
From a capacity point of view, are the soccer stadiums big enough to host a huge crowd, or do you think it would make sense for them to use NFL grounds?
It would make sense to use a couple as the tournament grows. I mean, for group games, you could use a lot of the soccer stadiums. I mean, some of them like Seattle, some of them they share them with the NFL as well. Yeah. I know Seattle's a huge one, but
Seattle's 67,000 people.
Well, and a few years ago, Matt and I were in the crowd at a Seattle Sounders game.
The atmosphere is amazing, but I think it would be very, very awesome as well for the climate changes and the different altitudes to kind of come into play. It'd be awesome.
The games in Albuquerque will be very different from the games in New York.
Oh yeah, just pray you don't have to play in Denver. That's all I'm saying. Mile high, but beyond that, it's going to give the MLS a chance to shine. And I honestly can't think of a single negative. I can't think of a single negative on why you wouldn't want to. Do it in America. I mean, yeah, there's other countries that it would be great to stimulate their economy and do things for them, but that's not always the best.
And that's not the point of this debate.
No, but that's not always. But in the past, that's been a huge selling point.
Yeah.
Is to do in a country. But look what happened in Brazil. Almost all the stadiums now are used for public transport, bus storage.
Exactly.
I
think USA is a good shout. To be fair,
we wouldn't have to build anything. It's all turnkey. You could come in and play it in a year.
Yeah.
It's turnkey.
Good. Rogers, we've heard Australia and 2 votes for USA. Who do you say?
Well, firstly, I don't want it to go to the USA. I don't want to raise the profile of the sport in the USA, really, because I think they will dominate football if they get the chance.
So you're saying no to USA for self-preservation?
Yeah.
I'll hear you say.
Okay, so for selfish reasons, I'd like to see it go to Germany. The reasons for that is it's pretty close, so it'd be easier for me to get to.
So why don't you just vote for it to be in Wales?
But also, the times of the kickoff would be great. I mean, that would affect both of your picks, USA and Australia. And despite what Hona says, not everyone can watch football at work or wants to get up really early. So no early mornings or late nights would work out well for me. And as a genuine footballing powerhouse, the atmosphere there would be great. And also, as they hosted the last European-based World Cup, they could host again at short notice. The infrastructures are there, the stadiums are there, all of the requirements are in place. And I don't think any other country can really boast that at this time. Other countries will have the stadiums, but they haven't got such a recent example of hosting a World Cup.
But don't you think it's a bit unfair, though, that Germany would get even better because they're playing at home?
Well, to be fair, they won the last World Cup, so they sort of deserve the chance to host it.
Maybe that's what happens in the future. You win the World Cup, you host it.
It's always going to be in Germany.
Germany or Brazil.
Well, Rogers, surely you'd be happy with that.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going Germany.
Okay, fair enough. Poyser.
I'll bring him back to realism, I'm afraid. I don't think it's going to leave Russia. And the reason I say that is because I don't think there'll be a FIFA to move it out of Russia.
Question.
So in our debate about who we think should host the World Cup...
Should.
Yeah.
Not will, should.
No. The reason I say this is because I don't believe there will be a FIFA to do it. So I believe FIFA will be disbanded, and therefore the World Cup will be disbanded, and we will have to start again.
And all football as we know it will be gone.
So basically,
You're
Poyser,
supporting this. You're supporting the
Poyser, did you understand the question?
Directions unclear.
Didn't we talk about this in the week and we agreed this was going to be our podcast discussion?
We talked about it in the week. We talked about it at 10 o'clock this morning.
Okay, so in the discussion of who we think should host the World Cup, your answer is there's not going to be a World Cup. Well,
if I was to pick a country...
okay, hypothetically speaking, the World Cup hasn't stopped. Who would you pick?
No, yeah, let him finish. If you were going to pick a country, who would you pick?
Italy.
Okay,
why?
now give us some reasons so we can laugh at you again.
I think with there used to be a powerhouse of European football. They're suffering. I believe taking the World Cup there would give them that boost and get them back into actually being a recognisable club teams again and get the club teams performing well.
How would the World Cup help the club teams perform well?
Because it would bring the actual revenue into their actual clubs, wouldn't it?
Okay.
So it would give revenue boost. It would give them the recommendation there. It would also be easy for us to go. The games would be at our time. And
listen to you pander into the Rogers vote.
Do you think that Italy has enough stadia to hold the capacity to host enough World Cup games within the time given?
Didn't they?
The world's grown since then. We hosted one in 94.
But they've got the stadiums too, haven't they? Let's be honest about it. They could host it.
Just a question. I wasn't arguing. I was just questioning.
I think they could.
Poyser, to be honest, it's just nice to have an option out of you, not the World Cup's going to disband.
Dirty commie.
So we've got a vote for Australia, 2 votes for USA, 1 vote for Germany, and then 1 vote for the catastrophe theory, I suppose. We're going to move on. No, we're moving on. Carson, it's fantastic to have you back on here. Now, you've been away doing lots and lots of research for us about MLS. Don't laugh, that would have been a perfect cover for you. So, I understand you want to give us an update. Well, don't even explain it. Just talk to us. Let's hear your lovely tones.
I will give you an update because I sat down a couple weeks ago and, believe it or not, I actually watched a little MLS. That's because the playoffs are happening. And
is that because you can't stand to watch Chelsea at the moment?
Yeah, we'll touch on that in a little while. I'm not ready for that yet. Easy. But so it was. It's down to the wire. I've also been kind of keeping tabs on. I want to touch on players from England first. actually, who've moved over to the MLS and just kind of give everybody an update. Have you guys paid any attention to...
That's a great idea for a feature.
I mean, has anybody...
Hang on, no, forget I said that, and it's almost like we planned this.
Oh, wonderful. So, I didn't go too in-depth, but I did kind of check on, goal tallies for the season and even some things I've read recently. I mean, Steven Gerrard has managed 18 goals this season, which...
Really?
From what I've read, yeah. Yeah, he did 18.
That's phenomenal.
Didier Drogba came in and scored a hat-trick in his first game. Unless I'm reading this site wrong.
I hope you're not, because that is phenomenal. 18 goals.
I know.
He was knackered and he was feeling the most exhausted he had in his career.
I can guarantee Rogers is Googling this right now.
And he did, because he was talking about he wasn't expecting all the different climate changes and humidity and even altitude changes, and he was talking about how that was affecting him. I looked all this up on my way home earlier, but, I mean, from what it said, he's got 18.
Is it? You sure it's not 18 games?
I've just checked.
You know what? That might be what it is, actually.
he has 2 goals. 2 goals.
I'm just going to hang up. I blame this on ESPN FC's poor layout of their site. I put this up. 18 games, either way.
Okay, there we go. So
we'll go back. Yeah, Gerrard is knackered. He's actually. There's been a lot of press recently about him wanting to come back. Maybe I don't know how much truth is to it, but he's considering his options. He really wasn't expecting all the heat, humidity, and climate changes, and how exhausted it's like playing in Brazil, but all year.
Right.
Drogba's team has done a lot better. Like I said, he did score a hat-trick in his first appearance, which was incredible. He's playing in Montreal. A great fit for him, being a French-speaking person. But Montreal made it all the way to the quarterfinals and lost tragically to Columbus. Lamps has been plagued with injury and not doing well at all. In fact, New York City FC had a terrible season. Their first inaugural season, and they've already sacked the coach in his first ever season, first time the club's ever been in existence. But they hired, oh my god, I should look this up. Okay, I could be, I want to say Patrick. Yeah, okay, good.
Yes.
Yes, so he's now the new coach of NYCFC. Godspeed, good luck.
Put him ready for the Man City job, isn't it?
Yeah. But man, I lost my complete train of thought there. Who else did I look up? It was Pirlo. Pirlo's he fared a little bit better than Lamps, but NYCFC, they got a lot to work to do. But they're a new club. They're brand new.
And obviously, importantly, does Pirlo still have his beard?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Last time I checked, yes.
Good.
But anyways, moving on from that, we're down to, surprisingly, this is kind of why I actually tuned in, is FC Dallas.
Hometown?
Penalties. They beat Seattle Sounders on penalties last weekend, which was huge. So they are through. They're going to be playing Portland on the 22nd, and then it comes down to Columbus Crew, who beat Didier Drogba's Montreal Impact against the Columbus Crew against the New York Red Bulls. So we'll keep you posted and let you know how those shape up. I would love to see Dallas win an MLS Cup. That's going to be amazing. So I actually went to a couple games this season, so it was really, really, really awesome. But that's that. The football has been actually surprisingly great. There's still, quite what you would expect. Tired legs in the back. As the game drags on, the defenses do wear down very fast. And
is that because of humidity and heat, do you think?
Not only that, but some of the stadia they play in, I can't stand watching a game at poor Yankee Stadium where New York City FC plays. I swear it's not shaped like a square or rectangle. It's like a rhombus almost. You can see the lines. They are not perfectly square. But it's so narrow. The field is so narrow, which doesn't play to a player like, Andrea Pirlo, who's known for the beautiful, brilliant long balls and diagonals from the midfield. It's so short, It's awkward.
Yeah.
But the tired legs in the back you'd expect, but the shooting wise and actual play itself has been quite attractive this season. There's still quite a bit of errant passing that goes on, especially through the midfield. But the final third, the quality is actually a lot better than you expect. I'd actually encourage you guys to try it out every now and then, and at least keep tabs on your boys that have come over.
But sounds good. Now you also mentioned there was an American coach you wanted to mention.
Yes, I do want to give a huge shout-out to also the father of U.S. national team midfielder and captain Michael Bradley. His dad, Bob Bradley, who was the previous coach before Jurgen Klinsmann came in. Last year or the year before, he was given the job for a team over in Scandinavia. I want to say it was Sweden. Yes, Sweden. A team called Stybak, who was bottom of the league, relegation fodder, finished third this last season under Bob Bradley, who has now been given the job in a French League Two side, Le Havre.
Okay. Very well pronounced.
Yeah, I mean, huge shout. It's the first big, American coach to get a job in Europe, and he has earned it. I would have loved to see him, getting one of the, get like the Villa job or something. But we'll see what happens with that. But
that's good, Carson.
Yeah, and then as far as Americans playing in England right now, I think Jeff Cameron is having just an amazing season, and he's in great form with Stoke City. He scored the other night in the U.S.'s World Cup qualifier against Trinidad and Tobago, but also, again, it was 6-1, so who didn't score? But but no, I'm very impressed with him this season. He's an amazing midfielder for Stoke City, but I would love to see him more in the defense side of the U.S. men's national team, which is where a lot of our problems lie, in my opinion. Another good player is a guy named Tim Ream, who has just signed on with Fulham. He's been playing left back for the U.S. men's team and looking wonderful. Brad Guzan, last weekend against Man City was phenomenal. Doesn't get enough credit for some of the saves he's made. He's been kind of floppy all season, but great to see him finally finding a little bit of form save-wise, keeping Man City from running away with 3 there. That could have been a terrible result. I'm trying to think of who else is still playing in England. I think that's it for England right now.
Howard.
Yeah, Tim Howard.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about Timmy. He is not in form right now at all.
Okay, fair enough.
Carson, quick question: How do the Americans view players like Bradley Wright Phillips and Sean Wright Phillips? Because I see here Bradley Wright Phillips is actually quite prolific in the MLS.
I was going to touch on them earlier. I totally forgot. Yeah, Bradley and Sean both. They play for, is it Columbus?
It's the Red Bulls.
No, New York. Yes, New York. But yeah, which one's the older brother? Is it?
Sean.
Sean. Yeah, he got subbed off a little early in the second half. But yeah, Bradley he's been a force for the Red Bulls this season. He's actually in great form, and yeah, they're fairly well known, especially within the New York fandom. So they're very prolific as well around the league. They're superstars on that team.
I do wonder with Bradley Wright Phillips if come January one of the Premier League team and bottom might take a punt on him.
Hasn't he been linked with Bournemouth? I heard he was linked with the wonderful Bournemouth.
I don't know if they could afford him, but that would be a great pickup for them.
No. Carson, it is fantastic to have you back. Poyser, we're going to come to you. Finish us off with your story.
So, before the story, actually, I just want to pick up with something that with Carson saying about old players that moved abroad. Any of us watched the UNICEF match? What a great spectacle that was.
Yeah, fantastic that was.
Yeah, it was good.
You say that Pirlo and that can't ping them passes. I'll tell you what, David Beckham still can, can't he?
Oh, he's still got a set-piece delivery, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But
and Scholes. Scholes could still quite easily make it into the majority of Premier League teams.
Don't necessarily agree with that, but I like your sentiment.
His ability.
He was able to get tackled yesterday. Yeah, but
I think he'll hold up long enough.
He's put on a bit of timber since he last played.
I can get rid of that. It's fine. Details, Rogers. Details.
Okay, time's getting away from us. Poyser, story.
Okay, couple for you. A quick one. I'm going to lower the tone. I'm really sorry about this, but there's been a few stories relating to football about Pornhub this week.
I have no idea what that is, Poyser. Why don't you explain to all the listeners?
There's a lovely website out there. Not safe for work. Don't Google it, obviously.
Where are we going?
So the first story to do with Pornhub and football is they are looking to sponsor a team in Italy, currently unnamed. They are going to put their branding on the shirt.
That would be amazing.
Okay, I'm just going to assume our Facebook is going to be covered with all kinds of puns of what that name could be called. I'll just leave that one there. Right, let's segue away from this story. Poyser, what's your other one?
The other one to do with Pornhub on there.
Oh, Jesus.
And I'm sorry, Mez. This is for you. I had to do this. They've released their top searched football players on their search engine, and somehow Giroud is not in there, but Carlos Tevez is.
Oh, my goodness.
Surely they've got pictures to Blanca Street Fighter porn, maybe.
Right. I'm drawing this to an end.
I'm just finding.
So, and I'm bringing it back into a bit of a feel good story to end it off in a nice way.
Stop saying bringing it in and talking about Pornhub.
Sergio Aguero. He's a proper nice guy. He's actually earned a lot of respect from me this week as a footballer. He changed his shirt number, didn't he, from number 16 to number 10. A lot of fans were really annoyed about this because he took Dzeko's number when he left, and he has personally agreed and actioned on this. He would sign any fan with the old shirt number for them. He'd take them to this place, the meeting on Tuesday this week. He did it, and he signed over 600 shirts that day.
Wow.
Oh, that's good.
Nice little good story on that. In his own time, everything like that, he just sat there and just signed them all for me. He was like, I'm so sorry. He said, I'd love to refund you for them, but the club aren't obviously going to do that. But what I can do for you is I'll personally sign there and address them all to you.
I wonder how many fans went to Sports Direct an hour before and bought a 16 Aguero shirt.
Yeah.
Customized it, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, take the number and name on it. That'd be a smart thing to do.
He's number 10, you know. No. He's 16, I swear.
Right.
I just thought it was a really nice little goodwill story to put.
Yeah, I much prefer that story. Just a quick reminder, everybody, to clear your internet history. We have been talking Ballocks once again. Don't forget, we're brought to you by... hang on a minute, Carson's wagging his finger at me.
You guys wanted me to touch on this, and I'm going to keep it real brief. Mourinho gets till not this January, but next January to turn things around. It's not his fault. That being said, I have been a Costa out fan for a very long time. I cannot stand him. I think that's the best thing we could do other than rebuild our defensive line is get Costa out of there.
Okay, perfect world.
He's a mercenary.
Perfect world. Who do you bring in to replace him?
That's still a question I don't know the answer to. I want to see who's out there. I know that there's got to be somebody out there. I don't want to bring in somebody like Cavani, who's like a super villain, just like Costa. But I think there's options out there that we need to look at.
Fair enough. Rogers, you've been very quiet. Do you want to say anything before I wrap this up?
No, I was just researching Poyser stories.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Don't forget, check us out on talkingballocks.co.uk. We are at Talking Ballocks on Twitter and, of course, Talking Ballocks on Facebook. We'll be with you next week.